is sickness caused by sin. Now, you probably have heard things like this. What will happen is someone will get sick, and someone in their life will say to them, or a preacher will say, "You got sick because of unconfessed sin." There is some sin in your life that is causing the sickness that you have. So what is the answer to that? Some sickness is caused by sin. So for example, what is the primary reason people get cirrhosis of the liver? The typical reason people get cirrhosis of the liver is drunkenness. So is drunkenness a sin? Yes. So is cirrhosis typically caused by sin? Yes, because it's caused by drunkenness. So there is some sickness that is caused by sin, right? For example, if I take a bunch of illegal drugs that are harmful, can I get sick as a result of it? The answer is yes. But is all sickness caused by sin? And the answer to that is no. When a child is stillborn, is that because the child sinned in a worse way than some other baby in the womb, and so God struck down that child? The answer is no. Get with me, Luke 13, verse 1. Luke chapter 13, verse 1. This is a passage where the Lord is speaking about some of the maladies that occur in this life. Luke 13, verse 1. There were present at that season some that told him of the Galileans whose blood Pilate had mingled with their sacrifices. So apparently what's going on there is some of the Galileans are offering sacrifices, and Pilate has them killed while they're in the act of doing that. Verse 2. And Jesus answering said unto them, Suppose ye that these Galileans were sinners above all the Galileans because they suffered such things? So the Lord's asking a question there. The people often say that, don't they? In other words, this tragedy, this thing befell you, it must have happened because you were doing something worse than the average. And that's why you got what you got. You got what you got because you were doing something bad. Now notice verse 3. I tell you nay. So how did the Lord answer the question in verse 2? Did he say the Galileans that were killed were worse sinners than everyone else in Galilee? And his answer was, nope, that's not it. I tell ye nay, but except ye repent, ye shall all likewise perish. Or those 18 upon whom the tower in Siloam fell and slew them, think ye that they were sinners above all men that dwelt in Jerusalem? So in verse 4, what happened was there was a tower that fell. It killed 18 people. Were the 18 people that it fell on worse sinners than the other sinners in Jerusalem? No, they weren't. When a plane crash happens, this happens every so often, are the people on that plane crash worse sinners than the ones that didn't get on the plane? No, not necessarily. Verse 5, I tell ye nay, but except ye repent, ye shall all likewise perish. So what's going on here? Is there some sickness that is caused by sin? Yeah, clearly there is, right? Cirrhosis of the liver is the result of excessive drinking. So can sickness be caused by sin? Of course. But is all sickness, is all tragedy, does that always occur because the person who experiences it is a worse sinner than everyone else? And the answer is no. I'll give you the obvious example. There are children that have pediatric cancer, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, youngsters that have pediatric cancer. Are they worse sinners than terrorists that live to be 70 years old. I mean, there are terrorists that live to be old men and they die of old age. Well, is that child in the pediatric cancer ward, are they a worse sinner than the terrorist? And so God struck them down because they took someone else's toy when they were playing together. And God said, I can't have that. That's just superstitious foolishness, isn't it? That's what that is. Look with me at Ecclesiastes 9, verse 11. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 11. This is a very helpful verse about how things in life work. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all. Is everything in your life the result of, you getting your just reward for something you did? Or is there just random chance that happens? And the answer is there's just random things that happen. Time and chance happeneth to all. What this tells you, it is a mistake and it is unscriptural to look at someone that suffers a sickness or a tragedy and say, this happened and it must have been your fault. That is unscriptural. Now, can it be your fault? So, for example, I don't recommend this. Let's say I get super drunk and I drive my car really fast and I run into a wall. Well, what happened to me is kind of my own fault, right? Because if I'm driving irresponsibly and I'm drunk, well, then, bad things happen when you do stupid things. But is it accurate to say that all the misfortune in life is something that was your fault? No, it's unscriptural to do that. So is sickness caused by sin? Some sickness is caused by sin, but much of sickness, probably most of it, just has to do with time and chance happeneth to all.